Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Thursday, September 28, 2023, around 3:15 p.m. Eastern. We'll be having a reverse aging health call tomorrow night around 9 p.m. I have some stupendous news on it's hard to describe, but I'll share some of it with everybody tomorrow night. We talk a lot about how do we position ourselves in the higher frequency stream. What do we do? How do we do it? How do we keep the ego mind from interrupting us, basically on a continual basis? Through all the gurus and all throughout existence, seeking that, understanding how to do that. See, when you have, we come into these bodies, and these bodies are programmed, as we all know, and they're on other people's thoughts. The diversity is so vast, and we have so much as far as the personality and the character and the chemistry and all the things that we're constantly being saturated with. And when you think about it, you realize that not a lot of people are aware of this. They're just not aware. So this is why they stay in the rat race, so to speak, rushing through life in a hurry to get somewhere of which they don't know where. And then when they get there, they're surprised to say to themselves, it's got to be more than this. It's all been done. We're literally trained to look outside of ourselves. That's the dilemma. And we do it every lifetime. So we're outside of ourselves trying to discover who and what we are, pretty much. Most of us don't pay any attention about that. You ask somebody, who are you? They'll say their name, right? Maybe. Or they'll be so distrusting that they won't tell you anything. But, who are you? Why? What did I do? You see the responses? That's what you get, all kinds of really negative responses, defensive responses. Are you an investigator? What? Why are you asking me that? I don't know you. There's people that will respond that way. Or you could say to somebody, who are you? And they'll turn around and say, well, who are you? Now, it'd really fry them if you turned around and said, I'm the God within this body. I'm not this body. That's who I am. I don't have a name. Okay. Isn't it how it's really laid out? We are given a name. What for? Well, family identifies us, that type of thing. We're given a name. And we use that name throughout our life existence in this life, and in any life. And then, that's what they put, those that go into the ground, they put on the gravestone their name. But we don't have a name, the gods that we are. We're just known as gods or pure consciousness. There's no such thing as names. Where did the naming come from? Where did that come from? Society. The social structure of the planet. And this can go back tens of thousands of years, hundreds of thousands of years, if not millions of years. And it is kind of odd that you would think in the direction of saying, well, why do we need names? So you could be accounted for, followed, tracked, copied, all of those things. It's the only reason you have a name. Well, how would we get along? How would we know what to do if we didn't have a name? Well, you would just know that we were all gods. You're God, the body, and it would alleviate a lot of things. And I know it sounds strange, but we're basically a group of gods with no name. Society gives the name. It's a label. And we use the name. I'm not saying it's a negative. I'm just saying that the question is why do we use the name? Most of the time it's to identify us. Why do we need to be identified? We don't. But because of the programming, everybody falls into place. It's like, what would happen if you didn't use the name? It'd be really confusing, wouldn't it? You wouldn't get too far, in the system. Saying, well, what's your name? I don't have a name. What? You're funning with me, right? No, I don't have a name. Well, if you don't have a name, you don't have a birth record. True. See, a birth record will tell you, you've got to give this baby a name. Why? Why? But we're so ingrained in that form, that way of thinking, that to do it any other different way would be very challenging for us because we're adjusted, and controlled. We're adjusted and controlled. This is why we talk so much about going within, and not just talk about it, but acting upon it, going within and discovering who and what you are. Now, let's look at it this way. You have a person who has a name, and they get so distraught that they prematurely end the body. Or on this planet, they call it commit suicide. They don't know who and what they are. Period. They have no clue of who and what they are. I knew this, excuse me. I knew this when I volunteered for Night Watch for Hotline, people who were going to commit suicide. The suicide hotline. We had a lot of those years ago. And most of the time, they were lonely, depressed. Their attitude about themselves sucked. They were totally distraught about life, that it was unkind and it mistreated them, and they didn't care to be in it anymore. But I found that the majority of the time, not all the time, but the majority of the time, all they wanted to do was talk with somebody. That's usually what would happen. They would just want to talk with somebody. Now, key ingredient that I learned to people doing that act against themselves is that when I would talk with people on the hotline, they would just go into talking about themselves and their life, and they didn't talk about suicide at all. It didn't really come up. But you know that there was an undertone in their voice. But desperately lonely, stressed, insecure, worried, emotional stress and pain from relationship, job. There were a lot of different factors involved. People on this planet want to feel needed in some way. Needed. Could be any way, shape, or form. But when they feel needed, they feel a part of something. And this is interesting. When they don't feel needed, they feel lonely. They feel alone. And they're not alone, but they don't understand who and what they are. And they don't know how to increase their vibrational frequency. They just don't know how. Especially when they're in a low level frequency for any extended period of time. Now, you've probably heard where, people would talk to people and then the next day they're gone. They eliminated themselves. And I knew some people that did that. And for the most ridiculous reasons. So to them, they had convinced themselves that life was a burden, that it wasn't worth participating in. Or it was an escape so that they would not take the responsibility of facing something that they had done. So they would rather, or an event or some interaction on the planet that they didn't care to be a part of, so they would exit rather than stay around. Okay? That happens a lot. Someone's caught at doing something, or, it's all closing in on them and they know the jig is up, and then they exit. They exit. That's what happens. Now, they don't know really what gratitude is. And it is a super powerful transformational energy. It's one of the most powerful and transformational energies on this planet. And every time any of us are spontaneously grateful for how the universe has deeply and eternally loved you, you in turn send out a high vibrational energy that starts magnetizing even more abundance into your life. Each time any of us bathe ourselves in the energy of gratitude, we expand the knowingness inside us that we are truly an abundant being who lacks nothing at all. What a way to be, isn't it? It is a supercharged, magna glorious, incredible manifesting energy. It allows us to tap into our own infinite creative energy, where we cannot feel fear. We cannot feel scarcity, nor doubt. When we embrace gratitude as a way of being, we are living in this consciousness daily. We've surrendered to knowing that we are already deeply, eternally loved with everything you need and are thankful for all that is. From this place of being at one with all that is now, we become a massive magnet for attracting even more successes, love, abundance, divine beings into our life. Take a few minutes right now to imagine what your life would look like in the event you were constantly living from a place of gratitude all day long. We always have the chance to be grateful for what is. Now, with everything happening on the planet, in all the doom and gloom, people say, how can you be grateful for that? You want me to be great? No, I don't want you to be grateful. It's not about me, it's about you. I want you to want to be grateful and to embrace gratitude. Not once in a great while. We always have the choice to be grateful for what is, or not grateful for what is. We have the power to choose what kinds of thoughts and feelings we focus on, and eventually manifest into our life. We can choose to adopt an unending attitude of gratitude or remain strapped to the judgmental, fear-based merry-go-round of the mind. Choosing gratitude is choosing freedom and will make our life easier than we could ever imagine. It will bring us such a vast experience of love that we will freely feel and experience our own soul. Embracing gratitude as a way of living our daily life is like opening the door to a brilliant new world where the sun is always shining its warmth inside your heart wherever you are. You naturally feel the divine love and abundance that is inside you and all around you. A heart that is brimming with gratitude does not allow the mind to be cluttered with ideas, opinions, and attachments to desires. It knows itself as the source of love itself. If and when you have trouble staying in touch with your heart's natural grateful connection, you may have let your mind or an inner judge attempt to squash this flame of love. The fire is not dead by any means. It just needs a little stirring. The heart that is forever thankful always breaks free from the ego's contracted thought patterns. Its natural warmth is always able to receive and give love freely. Gratitude is one of the most enlightening life experiences we can access at any time. We always feel lighter and less burdened by the end of the day. When we practice directing this appreciation toward yourself, others, and the world, there is a natural de-armoring process that happens. You start each day with shedding that protective armor around your heart and opening your heart to this divine feeling of appreciating everything. Anytime that you are not feeling gratitude, simply refocus on what you like, love, or appreciate about a situation. It's that simple. Gratitude is always within your reach. It is just a question of your focus and reining in your mind. If you feel that your shields are too thick, become quiet enough inside yourself to get in touch with the core of your heart. Create some time to relax and be very, very, very still. This will help you dig beneath the shields, resistance, wounding from the past. Use the breath as a vehicle to take you deeper inside so that you can go beneath this false protection. All armor is created for the ego, by the ego, and within the ego. It is all unnecessary. It's unnecessary weight, since the soul is like sunlight and does not need defending. Once this armor is released, you will naturally feel a lighter, warmer feeling inside. And a deep state of gratitude will surface and pour through you into the world. Now, it can be tricky, taking one's ego armor off. Any moment that your mind gets derailed and goes down the dark path of frustration, victim story, fear, or complaining, stop it immediately. Switch back to the gratitude track. It can be as easy as asking yourself, what's one thing that I am grateful for right in this now? The good news is that there is always at least one thing that you can be grateful for no matter what is happening in your life. Perhaps it's that you have the power to imagine a new you, your health, good friend, or just that you are still breathing. You ever, you get sick, have a cold in this lifetime sometime somewhere, flu, and, you go to bed before that comes onto the body. You go to bed and you breathe easy and you go to sleep, right? And we take that for granted until we start having sleepless nights, right? And we have, stuffed up nose, can't breathe, have to breathe through the mouth, all kinds of stuff. And then when we feel better and that congestion is gone, you start breathing free again, you go, oh, God, this feels so good. I am so in deep gratitude that I no longer have this flu or cold or whatever. And that's when you feel the gratitude and how thankful you are that you feel better and you can breathe easy and sleep. Right? And even though you're experiencing that, you can really, in the deepness of your heart-mind, say, I'm deeply grateful that I'm breathing. Now, whenever you cannot see the silver lining around the dark clouds in your life, simply open your heart. Breathe deeply. And then think about as many things as you can to be grateful for. In each moment, there are so many incredible things that any of us can be grateful for, large and small. Open your heart. Relax. Look at the bigger picture. And soon you will realize how truly, deeply, eternally loved you already are. Living in a state of constant gratitude doesn't take work. It simply takes more awareness. Gratitude is our most natural way of being when we are present, when we connect with our natural essence and pure consciousness within. We can see and feel the divinity within everything. This is not something strange that needs to be learned like judging cantaloupes. It's as easy as taking a fresh breath of air. So make it your number one priority this week to be aware of gratitude. Notice how much it is already a part of your life and what it will feel like to bathe in it 24 hours a day. You ever got together with maybe family members or friends and sat, and one of you gets in, you kind of sit in a circle, okay? Whether it's on the floor, dining room table, wherever. One person gets in the center, sits in the center, and everybody, you go around, and everybody says how much gratitude they have for that person and why. Okay? It's no smoke and mirrors. It's genuine, coming from the heart-mind of people. And then eventually each person gets in the center, and it goes all the way around till everybody's had a chance to be in the center. Now, here's one for you. When you're sitting, okay, in a group, and you're asked to stare into the person's eyes. Close up, too, by the way. Not a distance. So you're staring into a person's eyes. You're in this circle. And everyone takes turns looking directly into the eyes of the person in the circle and telling them why they are grateful for this person or giving them an authentic compliment. Then you switch people so that everybody has a turn to be the person in the middle of the circle to receive gratitude. Let people know that if they cannot say anything authentic or true to their heart, they can simply soul gaze in just the person's eyes for 5 minutes while holding their hands. Every time we have done a gratitude circle, we did these a lot for a long time. Every time, miraculous experiences started to occur in everyone's lives. This amazing experience is one that will raise your vibration and allow you to manifest the life you desire. Now you can do this. Choose to do it. In the next 7 days, take 15 minutes every morning to practice being this silent, still, frozen statue inside. Become the grand observer who watches all mental activity and outer storms pass by. When with your eyes closed, watch each thought that comes in like you were watching a cloud pass by in the sky. Do not judge or interact with the thought. Simply become the observer and continue to watch it. If you become wrapped up in your thoughts, simply notice what has happened and go back to watching each thought. The more often you practice being physically still, the more you will naturally feel calm and centered, no matter what type of inner or outer storm is brewing. It's huge. But we had people that were so, I don't know, they when they got in the circle, okay, they felt so uncomfortable with holding someone's hands and staring them in their eyes. They couldn't do it. They said, I can't do this. Does it have something to do with the person? No. The person that they're holding hands? No. Everything to do with them. Now, another thing that can really shift our perspectives about ourselves, about things outside of us, is the types of relationships that we develop with ourselves and others and things. I've interacted with people, and you learn a lot about that. And, people that, they just had their relationship with money was just absolutely horrible. They hated money. They thought money was the root of all evil, that, money was designed for bad people and not good people. On and on. Some of the, I would ask them, what's your relationship with money? And then, boom, it would just spew out. So you could kind of say they weren't even on speaking terms, even distant acquaintances. Right? Who never connect. Or are you best friends with money? Many people who have unhealthy relationships with money are holding themselves back from manifesting the kind of lifestyle and freedom they desire and deserve. If your relationship with money was like a relationship you had with a person, ask yourself this, right? Be honest with yourself. If your relationship with money was like a relationship you had with a person, what kind of relationship would you like to have? How would you like to feel about the money that is in your life now and that the money that is yet to come? Imagine for a few moments that you can see, feel, and experience money as if the money that's in your life now were a real living human being. What would they look like? How old are they? And how are you treating Mr. or Ms. Money? Are you needy or demanding in any way? Do you often feel like I have to have more of you, or I never see enough of you, or do you have a fairly healthy relationship with Mr. or Miss Money, yet you don't really trust that they will always be abundant when you are in need of it? Either way, it's important to evaluate and understand what your current relationship is with money. And one very important thing to understand is that money is just pure divine energy. The divine God source is in every atom and molecule in this universe. So it is definitely found in those electrons in your bank account. When you realize that it is truly pure conscious energy, it will form into whatever you want it to be. So, for now, let's imagine that you are best friends with your money. What does this relationship feel like for you? See what it takes to receive your best friend's trust in you and your trust in them. Trust that this person is going to be there for you when you need them, and that they will do whatever they can to support you. When money is your best friend, you know that you can relax deeply inside and know it will always be there for you. When you can truly let go and trust money, you'll see that it is always supporting you no matter what occurs in your life. The interesting thing is that this element of trust shifts your vibration and allows even more money to pour into your bank account. Not many people do this, nor do they even think about it. When you are best friends with someone, you truly respect, honor, and appreciate them for what and who they are, right? You don't try to change them, and you always focus on what you appreciate about them instead of what you dislike. You see yourself now walking hand in hand with money. Money is at your side, supporting you and providing for you, so that you can experience the joys and growing opportunities of this life. Just like a best friend, notice how good it feels to have money as a true friend. Now you can practice each night before you go to bed. Take 5 to 10 minutes to open up your heart to feeling a healthy, abundant relationship with money. Practice knowing and having a special place in your heart for money that feels good, trusting, and supportive of you in your life's journey. The more trust you can grow in your relationship with money, the easier it becomes to manifest the material life you deserve. You see, we were programmed to feel that that you've probably heard this, or maybe at one time believed it, that money is the root of all evil. And you ever notice something about religion? Man-made religion. That you're taught that it's better to be poor and not have any money than to be rich and have money. And that we should all be subservient, poor serfs living on this planet, tending to our master's needs. How many people do you come across that just have poor attitude towards it? Where, they'll sit there and say that they'll never have a lot of money. They're never lucky. Luck has nothing to do with it. They're never fortunate. Always someone else, never them. The more we trust, the more trust we can grow in our relationship with money, the easier it becomes to manifest the material life we deserve. You do get to the point, and you refocus on what your trusting relationship with money is like, you can relax into knowing that the perfect amount of money will always be there for you, no matter what happens all throughout your entire life. When you're sitting around worrying, stressing, and fearing about money, what do you think happens? You create a lack of. You worry about not having enough, and you end up not having enough. Or you're focused on not having enough. And when you're focused on not having enough, guess what? You aren't going to have enough. Especially around now, right? How important it is for us to have a loving relationship with money. It is God energy. You got to understand that everything, molecularly speaking, quantum particle speaking, is divine energy. It's the God source, creation of all creation and beyond. Just like anything. You know, what happens when you have a poor relationship with somebody? What transpires? What really transpires? Well, you don't get along, right? Get in arguments. You don't like being around each other. It's a poor relationship. And what does it do? It really causes suffering, disappointment, pain, sorrow, anguish. It's the same thing with money. If you have that kind of relationship with money, you're going to fear money, and you're going to fear not having money, and you're going to worry. You're going to suffer. Now, when you understand that you flip the switch and your focus on money is a great relationship with money, you might sit there and say, I love money. Wonderful. Through the heart mind. And it will come to you. See, it really does. It adds up when you connect the dots. It's not complicated at all. It starts off in high gratitude. You help people. First, you help yourself. You might make sure that you help yourself. And you're better outfitted to help others. So you help people. And that have you ever had somebody help you that motivated you? Okay? It literally motivated you to want to help somebody else. You ever had that inspiration? And you did it not to get ahead, not to make advancements. You did it because you wanted to do it. No strings attached. You wanted to help one person, two persons, three persons, whatever. Now, when we do that, and that motion, and that heart-mind understanding, it will come back to us several-fold in many different ways. And when you say to yourself that you deserve the best of everything, you do. That isn't wishful thinking. That's the truth. Every one of us deserves the best of everything. Doesn't it make sense that we have the power within to attract it? You're miserable, upset, irritated with your life. You think it's going to happen? No. Wouldn't it be great that when you started to slip into ego mind, a little bell would ring? And it would remind you, oh, I don't care to slip there. I'm going to go back focusing on my breath and stay in the now. See, this is all about our stay here in these bodies is all about overcoming the ego mind. I mean, it's very understandable. You're like this. Each of us are like these super powerful energy sources humming in these bodies. Where you could change anything just by your intent for yourself and others. The frustrating thing is that so many people don't know that. Why? They don't have the trust, faith, and confidence in themselves and the universe. It's not there. They can play act, right? But if it doesn't come from the heart-mind, it's not there. What do they usually do? They get fed up and they say, I'm not doing this anymore. It's a waste of time. Doesn't do anything. And it's not working. You ever notice that? Yeah, I did it for 2 days, that didn't happen. Well, why would you have expectations of things happening? You do it because it feels good. You do it because you want to stay in the now. So gratitude is absolutely paramount for our ascension. Staying in it. And during the course of the day, reaffirming it. I'm deeply grateful for the moment I'm currently in. That covers a lot. I'm deeply grateful for this day. I'm deeply grateful for waking up in the morning. You might be, and I know it sounds to some people silly or, doesn't register right with them. But you could be, doing something with your hands, washing something, and you focus on your fingers and hands and say, boy, am I deeply grateful for having these hands and fingers. What would I do without them? So it really is a happiness that's contained within us all the time, that when we finally decide to go within, we will discover that happiness. So in the quiet time of this guided meditation, picture a rock and be as still as that rock. Focus on your breath and the space between heartbeats. And see how many things you can go through and send out to the universe that you're deeply grateful for. I'll join you in the meditation. I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose, then an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still. Feelings are what make life extremely rich and juicy. They give our life dimension and create a more intimate and personal experience of reality. Our feelings enable us to heal ourselves as well as accept the infinite mystery of life. For today, allow yourself to let down your protective shields with this world and explore how you really feel about yourself, others, and this world today, in the now moment. Give yourself permission to feel everything and anything you can. Invite in and explore every type of feeling that comes into your body today. Confront the feelings you've been avoiding and breathe deeply into them. Sit with them and simply feel them. Keep your mind and heart open to this rich, rewarding, egoless experience. This is your turn to be emotionally free. Trust your feelings. Stop resisting them. Dive into each one with an open heart full of curiosity, wonder, and courage. When you stop trying to manage and control your emotions, they will transform you from the inside out. Take this with you for the rest of the day into the evening and night and the following morning. We'll return here Friday, September 29, 2023, 3:15 p.m. Eastern to continue our global guided meditation call, and around 9 p.m. Eastern to continue our reverse aging health call. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest, deepest, eternal gratitude at all times, no matter what's happening outside or inside of you.